New York Attorney General Letitia James announcing a civil lawsuit against former President Trump, his family and business seeking $250 million in penalties. The lawsuit alleges that Trump, along with the help of some of his children, falsely inflated his net worth by billions of dollars to unjustly enrich himself and to cheat the system.
This investigation revealed that Donald Trump engaged in years of illegal conduct to inflate his net worth, to deceive banks and the people of the great state of New York. Claiming you have money that you do not have does not amount to the art of the deal. It's the art of the steal. And there cannot be different rules for different people in this country or in this state. And former presidents are no different.
And the New York Attorney General is seeking more than $250 million. She is seeking many other things. And to talk a little bit more about that, let's bring in ABC News investigative reporter Catherine Falders and ABC News legal contributor Kate Shaw with more. Oh, and Aaron Katursky. There's Aaron. I'm glad I got to see you there on that top box. I know you were just inside listening to the Q&A after Letitia James spoke. So let's start with you, Aaron. You were in there. She laid it out. It's 280 pages. I know the three of you are still trying to go through it, but Aaron, give us the highlights here.
Well, I think this is a sweeping lawsuit, Phil, that alleges systemic fraud over a 20-year period on the part of former President Trump and 3 of his adult children, along with 2 executives from the Trump Organization, the corporation itself, to grossly inflate the value of Trump's net worth by billions of dollars, James said. And the fraud that she laid out covers nearly every major property in Donald Trump's portfolio. She called it astounding, the number of misleading or fraudulent financial statements that the Trump Organization issued over the last just 10 years, more than 200 of them, that were meant to induce banks to give them more favorable loan terms, or insurance companies to give them more favorable insurance terms, in some cases to pay a little bit less in taxes. And the Attorney General said this is not victimless, that the taxpayers of New York need to know there's not one system of justice for ordinary folks and another for the elite and the connected, because, as she put it, ordinary people can't lie to a bank to get a loan to go to college and get away with it.
Right. And Catherine, take us through a little bit more. As Aaron so aptly points out, I mean, she went from his own personal penthouse at Trump Tower. They called 30,000 square feet. She says it wound up being 11,000 square feet. In real estate, that can be a huge difference. These crimes, white-collar crimes, you know, President Trump has already, through his attorney, has already responded to this, calling it a witch hunt, you know, saying it's neither fact nor law they're going by here. But talk about how serious these kind of crimes are.
Well, look, they're extremely serious, and I think just from talking to sources close to Trump in the course of all of these investigations that we've talked about, whether it be, you know, the Mar-a-Lago documents, Congress, or this one, this is the one that he appears to be the most worried about here. You heard AG James talk about during his deposition last month that he invoked his Fifth Amendment right when asked specifically about the valuation of these properties. So it's extremely serious, and she made that clear by saying that she was also referring this conduct to federal investigators, to the IRS, to the Southern District of New York. She gave all sorts of examples here, and you mentioned that one about saying that his apartment was 30,000 square feet when really it was 11,000 square feet. She said that because of that false statement there, that it was valued at $327 million. I think the other thing to point out here is that she claims, for example, Mar-a-Lago, we've been hearing a lot about Trump's Mar-a-Lago Club, that it was valued at $739 million, that it was actually 1/10 of that amount. So these were just some examples that she say, her quote was, barely scratched the surface of what they found here. She said they found over 200 examples of these false and misleading statements as it relates to asset valuation.
And Kate, there is legal trouble, and then there is legal trouble. The president, through his attorney, kind of poo-poos all of the investigations, including the January 6th investigation against him. But the New York AG kind of said he can't run from this. He is going to have to answer to this. There is no, executive privilege here that he can invoke like he is trying to do in the Mar-a-Lago documents investigation. He has to face these allegations, these charges, as anybody else would in New York State who was alleged to commit these crimes.
That's right. And the Attorney General is seeking pretty serious relief. So $250 million in damages. She's also seeking to have former President Trump and his children, Don Jr., Eric, and Ivanka, permanently barred from serving as officers or directors of New York corporations or businesses, and barred for 5 years from engaging in real estate transactions or transactions with New York banks. So that could have obviously very significant consequences for the financial activities of former President Trump and his immediate family. But of course, there are questions about, this is a civil suit, but there were lots of allegations made that seem to suggest there was criminal activity underlying this civil complaint. Attorney General James mentioned referrals having been made both to the IRS and to the federal prosecutors in the Southern District of New York. She wasn't totally clear about the status of the Manhattan DA's criminal investigation into these same activities, but the strong suggestion was that that is ongoing, that there will be cooperation between the two offices if the Manhattan DA seeks cooperation or documents from the Attorney General. So this is serious in and of itself, and it also suggests that there remains very live possibility of actual criminal charges arising out of this same activity, whether those are state or federal or potentially both.
Aaron, talk to us a little bit about where this goes from here. The Attorney General was asked that question, and how quickly will this move along? Because a lot of these investigations that we've seen into the former president are slow moving, in part because sometimes his attorneys want it that way and they try to drag things out. But she said this is up to the judge. So how does this now progress?
At every step of the way during the last 3 years of this investigation, the former president has tried to slow this down, bog it down in legal proceedings. They took her to court in the state at the appellate division. They sued her in federal court up near Albany. And at every turn, all of that was dismissed, and we finally arrived where we are. So it's certainly possible. And in talking to the Attorney General's folks, they're prepared for the very same kinds of stall tactics, but they are also fully prepared to move forward. The Attorney General said none of this alleged conduct can be dismissed as just a good faith mistake. What she believes she has found is evidence of astounding fraud, and some of it may well, she believes, be criminal in nature.
All right, Aaron Katersky, Catherine Falders, and Kate Shaw, thank you all for your input. We appreciate it.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.